Good day, Berkeleans. Our lesson for today is about 6/8 time signature. Before we proceed, let's have a review on the different notes and rests and their values in a common time signature. A whole note or rest has 4 beats, a half note or rest has 2 beats, a quarter note or rest has 1 beat, an eighth note or rest has half beat, and a 16th note or rest has 1/4 beat. So, what is time signature? A time signature tells you how the music is to be counted. The time signature is written at the beginning of the staff after the clef and key signature. Time signatures consist of 2 numbers written like a fraction. The top number of the time signature tells you how many beats to count. This could be any number. The bottom number tells you what kind of note will receive 1 beat. If the bottom number is 2, the half note receives 1 beat. If the bottom number is 4, the quarter note receives 1 beat. If the bottom number is 8, the eighth note receives 1 beat. If the bottom number is 16, the 16th note receives 1 beat. Let's have this as an example. The top number is 4, that means there should be 4 beats per measure. The bottom number is 4, meaning the quarter note will receive 1 beat, meaning the value of the quarter note is 1. If we count the number of beats in this measure, it will total to 4 beats. Of course, you are not only limited to using the quarter note. You may also use other notes as long as the total of beats per measure is 4. Again, if the bottom number of the time signature is 4, the quarter note or rest receives 1 beat. So the value of the whole note or rest is 4, the half note and rest is 2, the eighth note and rest is 1/2, and the 16th note or rest is 1/4. If the bottom number of the time signature is 2, the half note or rest receives 1 beat. The values of the notes and rests will now be adjusted. So the value of the whole note or rest will now be 2, the quarter note and rest will be 1/2, the eighth note and rest will be 1/4, and the 16th note or rest will now be 3/4. If the bottom number of the time signature is 8, the note and rest that will receive 1 beat is the eighth note and rest. Again, the values of the notes and rests will be adjusted. The value now of the whole note or rest is 8, the half note and rest is 4, the quarter note or rest is 2, and the 16th note or rest is 1/2. Now, you might be wondering why the notes and rests with dots are there. It is because in time signatures with 8 as the bottom number, the use of dotted notes and rests are common. So, how will we know the values of the dotted notes and rests? The value of the dot is half the value of the note beside it. Let's have the dotted eighth note as an example. The value of the eighth note is 1, and half of 1 is 1/2. So the value of a dotted eighth note is 1 and 1/2. Another example is the dotted half note. The value of a half note is 4, and half of 4 is 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So the value of a dotted half note is 6. Always remember that the value of each note and rest is not absolute. It will always depend on the time signature being used. This is the 6/8 time signature. The top number is 6, which means the total number of beats per measure is 6. The bottom number is 8, which means the note that will receive 1 beat is the eighth note. Since the bottom number of 6/8 time signature is 8, we are going to use this table of notes and rests in creating rhythmic patterns for 6/8 time signature. A rhythmic pattern is a combination of notes and rests within a measure with a given time signature. Pause this and copy it on your notes for your reference before we proceed to the next slide. This is an example of a rhythmic pattern in 6/8 time signature. There are 2 measures in this musical piece. These two measures were separated using a bar line. Again, in 6/8 time signature, the number of beats per measure should be 6. Let's do the adding. In the first measure, we can see two dotted quarter notes. The value of a quarter note is 2, and half of 2 is 1. So the value of the dot next to the quarter note is 1. If we add the number of beats in this measure, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 6 beats. Moving on to the second measure, we can see two sets of eighth notes. The line connecting the eighth notes is called a beam. One line means the notes are eighth notes and two lines means the notes are 16th notes. Going back, the value of an eighth note is 1, so if we total the number of beats in this measure, it will result to 6 beats. This is another example of a rhythmic pattern in 6/8 time signature. The notes used are dotted quarter note, eighth note, and 2/8 rests. The value of a dotted quarter note is 3, the value of an eighth note is 1, and the value of an eighth rest is 1. If we total the values of these notes, it will result to 6. So, how do we conduct songs in 6/8 time signature? Here are some ways to do 6/8 time signature.
And there are two different ways that you can do 6/8. The first is as follows. Starting at the top of the head, you go down over twice, 2, 3, across the body, 4, 5, and up for 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will do that with my left hand and you mirror me with your right. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is another way to conduct 6/8, and it's by doing two patterns of the 3 count that we learned in segment 2. And you start by doing a large 3 and then a smaller 3. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big 2, 3, small 4, 5, 6. Try that, mirror with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.